Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of All Things Retired. I am your host, John Torres, the co-organizer for Happy Retiree Community in Ontario. And today we have a special guest. Her name is Faith Robert, and she was a medical secretary for about 17 years. Another interesting thing is that she went back to school in her 50s, which is incredible, right? We don't hear a lot of those stories. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things today. And she was also an apprentice plumber back in Vancouver and also worked in a car dealership. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Finally, John. Nice. Oh, how come you can't see me? Oh, there. There we go.
Awesome.
Now we put a
Hey.
face to a name, right?
Yes, exactly. Thank you for hopping on this call with me.
I was looking forward to it, John. I'm sorry about the messenger. I was having so much trouble.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the first meeting that I've ever done for the retiree community. So you're the first guest.
Oh no, because I saw
Yeah.
a few people said they wanted to do it. So
I actually have a really big list actually of people who want to do it. So I'm super excited to hop on calls with them. But you being the first is going to be very special, right?
Oh, gee, I feel so special.
So let us know, your name, obviously, and how many years you've been retired.
My name is Faith Robert. I've been retired 17 years as a medical secretary.
Awesome.
In the 80s, I was an apprentice plumber in Vancouver. And then I came back and in my 50s, I went back to school and I became a medical secretary. I worked at Scarborough General during the SARS.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember that. You're
Yes,
young.
I do.
Okay. And then I worked for different doctors and hospitals. And I wanted to be a nurse, but I had 3 children and I couldn't do it. At that time, we couldn't do it. So I want to help people. I like helping people. I like organizing things. Well, that was in my younger days. I don't know about now, John.
No, and that's fair. You worked your life and your whole life really, and you went back to school at 50, which is incredible. Not a lot of people actually do that. So what made you decide on going back to school?
I worked for a dealership for 10 years.
Okay.
I did everything there, you name it. They didn't believe that I wanted to leave because I was a piece of furniture there. I did everything. And I couldn't be a nurse or whatever. I thought, okay, let me get into I like the medical field.
Okay.
So I decided to go back. I was at the time when my husband didn't see me for 3 months because I had to learn all this medical terminology. And I put myself in the bedroom like I was studying. I mean, everything. And I got honors. I think I was the oldest one in the school in the 50s. And I got honors and they gave me a plaque and the whole business.
Wow.
Everything.
So that just really shows, you can do anything at any age. Age is really just a number. I'm actually a nurse, so I do know the joys of being a nurse and how rewarding it is to help others, and kind of had that same mentality going into the medical admin, right?
Right.
Field. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
And I think this is going to be very inspirational for kind of people who do hear this and maybe they feel like they are a little too old to go back to school. So you're going to be kind of the maybe people can reach out to you and really ask you if they have any questions. But
I find, John, that if you enjoy something, you don't mind. Like I didn't mind studying because at first a lot of stuff I had to learn technology and stuff like that. And the teacher told me that young people, learn it fast. Older people, mature people, retain it. And I did, because I did acting in my day where I used to live in Bowmanville.
Okay.
And I had no problem. I never did in my life, and it was for the community thing. And I was as Wilmot Creek, actually in Newcastle. And I never, but I couldn't believe that I was retaining all this, because I enjoyed it. So if you enjoy something, you can do it. I believe you can really do it. Took me a lot of guts to join on here too, actually. Like, no, but I told you saved my life. You did. I'm really serious. You did save my life. I never been so depressed in my life. When I never saw that in the retirement meetup, and I saw that online, and I thought, God, somebody gave that to me, because I don't care. I mean, eventually I get to meet people, but at least online we can answer and do things. And, it just saved me. And I thank you so much for starting this up.
Oh my gosh.
Leo, really, really, really.
Yeah, that's very impactful. And like, I'm really honored to hear that actually we made that impact in your life, and at the right time. And things do happen for a reason. I do believe in that. And so maybe you were praying, and something just kind of fell in your lap, and now this retirement community is a part of you, and you're part of this growing community. And we appreciate you being here on this call. And so for those of the people who are listening right now who are debating to retire, is there any advice that you have in retirement right now, kind of being in that as a retiree?
I would just say at the beginning it's difficult, because when you're working all the time and all of a sudden you have this free time and you're used to getting up at a certain time and everything else, just be patient. You get used to it. Then you realize, oh, I don't have to get up at this time, or I can do whatever I want, and it's really fantastic after you get into it. You just have to be patient. That's all. It's worth it. Believe me, it's worth it. You worked a long time. You deserve this. Right.
Yeah. And you said you retired, 17 years ago, you said, right?
2005. Yeah.
Wow. So in the 17 years, do you have any, has opinions changed? Do you enjoy it more as you're kind of like wine? Does it get better with time?
Well, of course, with this pandemic, it doesn't help. But otherwise, yes, it does get better, because you do make different kinds of friends. Now, I moved here from Newcastle from like eight years ago, and it's very difficult to find new friends, because they're in their own little special world.
Yes.
And they have their own lives and they don't want to bother.
Yep.
And I was talking to my daughter, who's younger, and she said she has the same problem. It's not just older people.
Okay.
So I would say as time goes on, yes, it does get better. It just please be patient.
Yeah, right. That's great advice. Because I think a lot of people, not just retirees, are going to be listening to this. I think if you wanted, and we get permission from you, would it be okay to share this, or do you want to keep it within the community?
You can share it if you want.
Okay, great. Now you've been, so you were an admin, a secretary, a medical secretary for, you said, from 50 to how old?
Oh, I think this now, just a minute. About, I think it was 65.
65. Okay. So you retired at the 65 point. So it's about 15 years of experience as a medical secretary. That's like, okay, so you had 15 years of medical secretary, and then you had before that 10 years, you said,
working at a dealership, like doing warranties, everything, switchboard, you name it, I was there. Then before that, I was in Vancouver. I took my son with me, and I became an apprentice plumber because my dad had a plumbing store in Windsor
Okay.
for 50 years.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about plumbing. I went to that store, and at that time, the husbands would send their wives to the store because they were too embarrassed to find out how to do something. They were too embarrassed that they didn't know. So they would send the wives and they would ask me. I said, listen, I'm going to write this down. You tell your husband how to do this. I got flowers. People crocheted me things
Wow.
because I listened to them, and I didn't make them feel worthless.
Yeah.
Which is important. And that was a while back. So,
So you're saying the field saturated with, I guess, men?
Yes.
Would not give the time and day that you did, kind of being in a as a female in that
Right.
in that field. Oh,
That's
wow.
right. That's right.
That's awesome.
And I was an apprentice plumber in Vancouver, but there weren't women in non-traditional jobs then. I was the only woman there. I had nobody to turn to. I was almost attacked from my supervisor and everything else. Everybody, there were some men that were nice to me. They understood because I had children and I had to support them.
Yeah.
And so they just nice, but the other ones were just mean.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, I mean, then like now it's different. People have, different places to go for help. I didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, like for me, I'm in a field saturated with women, so I'm kind of flipped in.
Oh yeah.
So I'm a nurse, right? So there's a lot of females in my industry, so I kind of relate. You do feel like you are left out, but it's a different time. I think now people are accepting of it, and it's not like you had to endure maybe a little bit more than I did. But yeah. So and now I kind of want to talk about regrets. Do you have any regrets at all, like before you retired, like anything before that?
No, I don't. No, I'm glad I did everything. I got a lot of experience at different kinds of fields and jobs, and I met different kinds of people, and I could help people. No, I don't have any regrets.
Awesome. All right. So Faith Robert. Now I was saying Robert the whole time. Sorry.
Well, it's okay. Everybody, I know. Just whatever. As long as you call me Faith, that's fine.
Yes. Is that like are you French?
No, my husband, he passed away 13 years ago, and his parents are kind of French from Quebec.
Okay.
But he wasn't,
He wasn't very French. Like he didn't speak a lot. Okay.
No,
awesome.
He didn't speak any. No.
All right, Faith Robert. Thank you for your time. I'm going to share this with the group, and I'm looking forward to connecting more, maybe even meeting you in person.
I would like to. I mean, eventually we'll have something going on. Eventually, I would like to maybe arrange something, maybe in Toronto or something like, lunch or something. I just want to meet people,
Of course. Yeah, we're going to set that up for sure.
But you'd have to help me, John.
I will. No, for sure. 100%. I got you.